Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio Show. My name is Dr. Genevieve Pearl from Ghana, and today I am happy to have a wonderful person in our midst. We have Jayna Locke from Minnesota. She's a writer who has had a lifelong love for fiction. Her short stories have appeared in a range of literature and literary journals, including Great Lakes Review, Portrait Magazine, and Bright Flash Library Review, as well as several anthologies. Her collection of short stories, Somewhere in Minnesota, is available on Amazon. Today we are going to hear all about her stories and why she's inspired to write so much. I welcome you, Jayna, to our show today. You're welcome, Jayna.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
Wonderful having you here. I am just in love with the fact that you write beautiful short stories to inspire others. And I would want you to tell us more about why did you go into short story writing? What inspired you?
I think I have been inspired by short stories all of my life. I think I wrote my first story when I was in fourth grade, but I've just been a reader and a writer for forever. And some of the best short story writers of all time have inspired me. And I'm talking about John Cheever and J.D. Salinger and Alice Munro is one of my favorites. Unfortunately, she just passed away last month. One of the best short storytellers of all time. And so being able to capture some of the, the charm and the wonder of great short storytelling has just been a goal all my life. And so that's why I write.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Can you tell us a bit, we'll go into it, but can you just give us a bit of Somewhere in Minnesota? What is it about?
Well, it's a collection of 12 short stories, and each story tells a different tale of characters experiencing various challenges, tumultuous times in their lives, and how they navigate that experience and how they find a way, I guess, in the end to move on and to find their way.
Beautiful. So it means that, definitely in life, we all have different challenges we go through. But one thing I am just picking up is that regardless of the challenges, there is always a solution. So there is always that end that inspires you to know that, look, no matter what your challenges are, there is a beautiful end. And so basically that is how I want to. Can you please tell us a bit about growing up? We want to know more about you. How was growing up like? Because definitely something as part of your journey would definitely inspire you to want to share your stories with others.
Yes. So I grew up in a very creative, interesting family. We were all theater people. So my father was a professor of theater. He also ran a community theater. And I realized early on that I did not belong on stage. I prefer not to be in the limelight, and I don't really like being in front of a lot of people. But I did discover that the stories of that were portrayed on the stage, and the ability of playwrights and actors to tell those stories and to make them meaningful, and to have an audience go, wow. At the end of the day, I mean, that's just an amazing gift of the creative community to provide great stories that resonate with us, and give us a feeling of having been on a journey.
Beautiful. So definitely it tells me that there is some sort of genes in you, because right from daddies, it means that it's been a family thing. So you picked one or two traits from daddy, and that is why you write so well. I'm encouraged. I also love to write, and I think for what you've just shared, it tells us that look, there is always something good in all of us, and you just have to identify what your gift or what your potentials are, and then we are good to go. I want to know, in terms of woman or being a woman, what are some of the challenges that you think your path has been in terms of wanting to write, in terms of wanting to communicate a particular story? Being a woman, has it changed anything? Do you think that it had maybe given you some different experiences, or you think on a whole it doesn't really matter?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. I think being a woman gives me some depth of uh, kind of feeling, and I love the layers of complexity in human relationships. So I think that's really a benefit that I bring to the table as a writer. But also, it's funny because I often write from the perspective of male characters. So I would say I think there's four stories in this collection that are told. One's from the perspective of a 12-year-old boy. One is from a young man whose relationship is going through a major upheaval, and they're at a crossroads, and he's just trying to figure it out. One of them is from an elderly man, or late middle-aged man, who is kind of at a crisis point. And and I think what's really special about that is that um, I love characters that are complex, that are outwardly kind of stolid and strong, but inside there's something much more going on. And I think that it's really fun to tell those kinds of stories from a male perspective.
Perfect. I heard you say something, and I'm happy and I'm smiling. I saw I think I saw a post somewhere that said that women are very complex, and they use the analogy of a book. So you know how the encyclopedia is. The encyclopedia is so big. So you keep opening and opening and opening, and it's all empty sheets. You don't see anything till the end. So it's like we are so complex. That's what you're trying to say. But you see, the complexity is the beauty of what makes us women. And I love the fact that although you're a woman, you're looking at it from the man's or the male perspective. So you use a lot of male characters, because I always say that we can't do it all by ourselves. We always have that synergy, that partnership, that diversity that makes it beautiful. So thank you very much for that the share. I also want you to tell us, what are some of the things that you think that makes you very unique, that makes you stand tall? What are some of the traits that you can tell, you can beat your chest and say that any day, anytime, I feel I'm an authentic Jayna? This is who I am, and I'm proud to say that this is who I am.
Oh, I love that question. So I just think that at my heart, in my heart, I love human beings. I love our strangeness and our complexity. what makes us tick, and all the different ways that we kind of find our paths through life, and struggle and find our way, and telling those stories is I guess my gift, and that I bring to the table, and helping people to kind of reflect upon their own journey, and maybe have aha moments as they're reading my stories, or just feeling like I touched their heart. So I really think that's me. It's just, really telling great stories that make people feel something very earnest and very authentic, um, and come away from those stories feeling a little bit transformed.
So reading your story would definitely not just educate us, but transform us and make us feel that indeed this is me, the authentic Genevieve. This is who I am. This is what I stand for. And it is not strange to sometimes be different from every other person, isn't it?
Yes.
Great. Great. Emma, I would like you to also share with us when you are not writing, what is Jayna doing?
I guess for me, I tell this sometimes in some of my interviews, because I get this feeling.
Jenna, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. I think at a point I lost you.
Okay, so
I heard you till I get this feeling.
yeah, so I get this feeling that it's a little bit like sculpting. So the feeling that is that the story exists, and I am simply trying to carve it out of the stone and reveal the story.
Great. So, if I may ask, apart from somewhere in Minnesota, do you have some other books that maybe you are working on the manuscript that are yet to come out? Are you thinking of collaborating with other writers to put some books together? If you can share or maybe highlight a bit on that for me.
Yes, in fact, if anyone visits my website, they will see all of the stories that I have had published, and all of the anthologies that my stories have appeared in. And so, and I love to collaborate with other authors. I have a writing group that I'm very involved in, and one of the authors likes to put together anthologies. So she and I actually have a few anthologies that where we both have stories, and one of them is one that she fully coordinated herself. And so those are really fun projects.
Great. So I'm happy about that because I write as well. And sometimes I think it would be beautiful for different writers across the globe. I'm in Ghana, somebody's in Kenya, you are in the US. It would be so beautiful for us to put our pieces together and see it from different perspectives. So I'm happy you are willing to do some collaborations. And definitely before we end, we would put your social media pages and your website so that people could also go visit the website. The whole idea of the USA Global TV and Radio Network is to educate people, get people to understand that the world is now a global village, like we say, and we can learn from each other regardless of your jurisdiction. So thank you so much. I want to also get to know something. How do you wind down? Because Jayna is a hardworking woman doing so much for herself and community. How do you calm yourself down?
Well, I love a little glass of wine at the end of the day. But I'm just a very active person, physically active. I'm out on trails, walking, biking. And my husband and I love to walk. So yeah, and I just think it's a wonderful thing to do to kind of Seems like we're having a few technical difficulties, but when I'm out enjoying the outdoors, I often find that some of my best story ideas come to me then. So it's symbiotic with my writing.
Great. I love that bit. I always said that I used to have a very lot of hair, and then at a point I decided to take everything off. And I shared the story to someone saying that when I'm in the shower and the water drops on my hair, that is when my juices, my creative juices come up, and I'm able to think through a lot of things. I'm able to create more. I'm able to write more. So I love the fact that there is a bit of us that when we are able to identify and tap into, it brings out the best in us. So when you go on biking and you are relaxed and your system is all cool, then you can be more creative. When I have water in my hair, I am more creative. I don't know what yours is out there, our audience, whatever yours is, please try and identify it and ensure that you know what brings you alive, you know what makes you think. Because all work and no play, we know makes Genevieve a dull lady, makes Jayna a dull lady. However, we still need to be able to have that balance and blend it so well. We have a bit of a healthy lifestyle as well as do all the great things that we want to do in life.
Hmm.
So as the conversation goes on, I also want to find out, do you most times when it comes to writing, a lot of people think you need to get it all perfect. You need to get it everything intact before you go out there. A lot of people would write books and they think, oh, these books are too small for us to even produce or for us to publish it and sell. But I love the fact that your niche is small and little stories. So bits and pieces of stories that you put together, and then you have something worth, reading. And I want you to throw a bit of highlight on it. What about somebody watching us out there who has all the great ideas but is even scared to start writing because the person thinks I need to write so much before I become a great author? What do you think?
Um, that's uh, that's a really good question too. I think people do struggle with that a lot. And am I ready to put myself out there, right? And I think it's very important to do that. But one of the best ways is really to get involved in a writing community, get feedback on your work, and then work on revising it and um, refining your story, making it better, adding layers of complexity so that it's deeper, more interesting. Um, so there's a lot of things that people can do. We submit it to like a literary journal, or there's all kinds of different magazines out there, sci-fi and horror and everything. If they want to submit their creative writing, their short stories, they can do so with confidence after getting some feedback and spending some time refining.
Great. I think one of the things that most times we are scared of is for somebody to give us a negative feedback. And I
Right.
always say that if you want to be a great leader in whatever you find yourself, feedback is critical. Feedback
It
is a
is.
gift. See feedback as a gift, regardless of how it comes across. Just welcome it because, like you rightly said, when you get the feedback and you need to tweak it here and there, it makes it better. And at the end of the day, it is you getting better. So thank you very much for sharing that bit of insight. And I hope that you are trying to also use the medium to encourage us that look, it's good to belong to different networks that would grow you, networks that would feed you, networks that will share knowledge and make you a better person. You would also, it's more mutual, you give and you take. And the fact that there is also a need for us to get some sort of, I'll say, accountability partners where we get to receive positive feedback, critical feedback, a bit of criticism here and there, but at the end of the day, it's a journey and we just want to become better people. So I'm happy
Yes.
that you've shared that. If I may ask, does Jayna have any plans of mentoring other people, building capacity in probably the younger generation in terms of writing, in terms of the things that you are passionate about?
Absolutely. So, in fact, I am involved in a few writing communities, and I am actively involved in providing feedback to kind of newly minted writers who are trying to find their way. I also am going to be teaching a class this coming fall, creative writing for people who are trying to find their voice as writers. So yeah, I've been doing that for quite some time, and it's something I truly enjoy. It's often a way to learn more and to develop your own skills as well.
Perfect, perfect. Because the more you teach, the more you become better. So
Yes.
I love that bit. I would love to take that class. If it's online, creative writing class, it would be great to be a student in your class. I would love to do that. So is it going to be an online class or is it a physical class?
So the class I'm teaching in the fall is local here in, my area in
Minnesota.
Minnesota, but my two writing groups are open to all writers.
I think we are
Oops.
having a bit. Okay, that's fine. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Technology is part of us, and I mean sometimes the ups and
Yes.
downs, but it's okay. It's okay. So just to hint us, you can find all the works of Jayna on www.jaynalocke.com. So please go there, search for her stories, go on Amazon, search for somewhere in Minnesota, and then get a copy for yourself. As the conversation goes along, I wish to also find out what has I'll say what has it been like trying to balance activities at home, your own personal life, and writing. How has it been like? How do you do it? How are you able to balance all that?
So for me, I kind of write in little bursts. One of my writing communities, we have a monthly deadline to produce a short story, and so I've been involved with that group for 5 years or more now, and so that's at least one story I produce every month, whether I'm feeling that creative inspiration or not. So you were talking about accountability, and I think that's really so key, especially if you do have a really busy life like I do. I work full time. I have two book clubs I'm involved in, multiple writing groups, other commitments, family, friends.
No.
So, yeah, and so I think that accountability and having deadlines and getting yourself to produce something on a regular basis is a great way to stay focused, regardless of what life throws your way.
Perfect. So staying focused for me is what is key. No matter the schedules you have, the excuses will not help. What we need to do is to
That's
stay
right.
focused. Yes, stay focused and commit to certain things, and we can integrate all the other aspects of our lives, and it makes our lives beautiful. I always teach the wheel of life. And I say that at every point in our life, that wheel, wherever you find yourself, there is that wheel that you would prioritize the key things that you want to focus on. So let's say at this time of your life, maybe you have four areas. Maybe you have your career side, you have the writing bit that has to do with passion, fun, and also giving back to community because you are teaching, you are educating, you are inspiring. So that bit is there. Probably your financial side and probably your family side. That might be your own wheel of life. But at every point in time, you try to integrate bits and pieces of what is important to you just to ensure that you are having a holistic life. And thank you so much for that share. Holding ourselves accountable, being focused, staying in tune with what we are passionate about, and knowing that the journey is not always smooth, but it is doable. Gina has done it, and so can you do it. I think that is how I want to capture a few of the things that we've shared. I also want to find out if you look back Are there any regrets? Are there things that you look back and say, I wish I had done this a couple of years ago, or I wish I did ABC 3, 4 years ago? What are some of the things that you can share with the audience out there? Do you have any regrets looking back?
I think we all do. It would be tough to find a person who does not regret any of their decisions or lack of focus or whatever it may be in their past. But for me, so I received my MFA in writing a number of years ago. It was before family, before getting married and having children and everything else. And I, of course, allowed all of that to distract me. Um, I was very focused on family, raising my kids, and also at the same time building my career. I work in marketing, and that's been a huge part of my life as well. So it feels really good to be finally getting back to writing, making it a real focus, and getting my stories published. So do I wish I had made that part of my life much sooner? Yes, I do. I wish I had not allowed so many distractions to keep me away from it for so long.
Thank you so much. But you know, one beautiful thing here, although it halted you for a while, it didn't stop you from getting back on track. And that is
Yeah.
one beautiful thing of great leaders, that you always go back to the drawing board. You always go back and align your strategies and say that I should have done this last year. I could not do it. Hey, I have to get it done this year. And that is the beauty of what you've just shared with us, that yes, definitely life has to happen and it does happen. So at a point in your life, you had to focus on the things that matter most as of then. It did not stop you from doing the things that you've always loved to do. So yes, the regrets might come in you. You might say, if I had done it a bit earlier, maybe it would have been much bigger than it is now. But I'm happy that you still went back to the drawing board, you picked the strategies, you aligned the strategies, and today you're happy sharing your stories. And I know you're going to even write more stories, share more stories, because you are focused, you're committed to that particular cause. And I know definitely it would get to where you want to see it. And looking forward, what do you think that maybe your next 2, 3 years is going to be like in your writing career?
Well, I am working on my next collection of stories, and those are going to be, I think, really fun because they all take place in a fictional Minnesota town. So, but they're going to be a shift kind of in direction because somewhere in Minnesota is really a work of literary fiction. And my next collection will be more genre focused. So there will be some murder mysteries and ghost stories and things like that. So, so I'm really having fun with that new collection.
Great, great. I'm looking forward to having a hold and reading the new collection that is going to come up. I love the bits where you said it's going to be a bit mysterious, ghosts and all that. It's going to be fun, I know. But if are we also looking at somewhere in Minnesota because it's authentic? That is where you've lived probably all your life. But are we also looking at writing something that is centered beyond Minnesota? Are we looking at something like that?
Yes, I'm sure that not everything I write in my life will take place in Minnesota. That's been one of my kind of focuses, I guess, for now. But I write a lot of different stories that take place in all different places. I actually didn't grow up in Minnesota. I've only lived here for 20 years. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. I've lived on the East Coast. I've lived in California. Um, and so my stories have always have, I would say, a sense of place wherever they occur. And I've also traveled quite a bit around the world. So um, not all of my stories take place in Minnesota.
Great, great, great. I live somewhere around the Bay Area in California as well. So I look forward to reading more of your stories, capturing all the other places that you've lived and sharing your bits and your stories. But do you intend to also do anything aside fiction? I heard you say the journal, so you write more on journal, but apart from that, do you intend to write any other stories centered on other areas?
I do think that at some point I will write some books on the craft of writing, because as I mentioned, I do love to share that knowledge and to help people who are struggling to write and who really want to polish their craft. So I do think I'll write some books on, and I've written many articles on the craft of writing and various aspects of fiction writing and what makes fiction great, what makes it readable, what makes it resonate with readers. So at some point, I'll probably put together a collection of those articles into a book.
Great, 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 great. So, to all our audience out there, watch out for our new collection where we're going to put together quite a number of the articles that Jenna has done, and then we would make a manuscript look great, and finally, we publish a beautiful book out of that. So, just to re echo, you can visit Jenna's website www.jaynalocke. Let me spell it JAYNALOCKO.com.
Yeah,
And
L
on
O
our
C K
screen,
E.
LACKE, thank you, .com. And on our screen now, we have the book Somewhere in Minnesota. So please go on Amazon. How much is it going for, if I may ask?
I believe it's US 17.95, as I recall.
17. Okay, great.
Yes, and that's for the print version, the paperback. There's
And the
also
paperback?
Kindle. Yes,
Okay.
and soon there will be an Audible version as well.
Okay, okay, that would be great. Most times, driving and listening to the audio version makes it quite easier. So that would be very, very great. Yes. So, if I may ask, what would you want to leave us with? What are your final words to us to encourage us to make sure that we are right on track, we are focused, we have our accountability partners? What would you love us to remember Jenna for?
Well, I just think it's really important to pursue your passion. For me, it's writing, fiction writing, and especially writing short stories. I think everyone has a story to tell. So, and there's many different ways to tell your story. There's the genre of creative nonfiction, which is, maybe you don't want to make up stories, but you can tell your own. And there's a big market for that. So there's a lot of different ways people can tell stories.
Great. So live your passion. Make sure that you know that there is something good in you. Believe in that and just be authentic. Just ensure that you are writing your authentic story. Everybody has something good in them. I trust and I believe that so, so well. Before I allow you to go, I want you to share with me what are your favorite songs? What do you listen to? What songs do you listen to? What food do you eat? What do you do apart from biking? Do you love to sleep? Do you love to bake? Do you love to watch movies? What else do you do?
Yeah, I'm not a big person for watching TV and so on, but I do love to cook. And I listen to a lot of books on Audible, and that gives me an opportunity to just, cook food and listen, listen to um, listen to novels and stories. Um, but I guess for music, there's so much great music out there. I wouldn't even know where to start. But I kind of have a secret addition to like America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent, things like that. I love to see people auditioning. So yeah, that's one of the things I love.
So
So
because you are creative, because that is a creative show, we get to see the best in people. We get to see the potential people are exhibiting and all that. So I also love watching it a lot, and I learn a lot from all the great talents that I see. It tells you that look, we are all blessed with something. You just need to identify what you are blessed with. It's been wonderful having you on our show. And just before we allow you to go, I don't know if you've subscribed to our new channel. We are looking at hitting 100,000 subscribers, and we pray that we hit it soon. So we are praying that today you join us, reach the 100,000 subscribers that our community is looking out for. And as you watch on our screen, please ensure that you click the button and then you subscribe. And then you also share for others to also subscribe. Together we are educating, together we are building capacity in everyone and ensuring that together we are building a beautiful community, a beautiful world, and the world is definitely getting better than what we met. If you've been listening to us on the USA Global TV and Radio Network, today it's been an amazing time with Jayna Locke, an author and a wonderful woman in Minnesota. She wrote and she has written several articles, several short stories. So please watch out for more to come and visit her website, www.jaynalocke.com, and also buy her book on Amazon. The book is titled Somewhere in Minnesota. I know that you've learned a lot. I am taking away so much, and I know that you have. If for any reason you missed one or two of Jenna's engagement with us, what I am taking away is remember that everybody has something in them. You have a talent, there is a potential in you. Also, remember that feedback is great. Feedback is a gift. So when you write your little stories or the things that you think about and you dream about, share it with the community. Get genuine feedback. In the event where you feel it's criticism, don't worry. Just take the positive out of it, work around your stories, and produce great manuscript, great stories to inspire and also to motivate others. This is the Kana Bookstore, where we talk about books, where we talk about authors, where we talk about publications, where we educate you with journals and articles and things surrounding us, things happening in the world. It's been wonderful being with you this afternoon. And I request again that kindly subscribe and help us reach 100,000 subscribers and followers on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. Thank you so much, and it's been amazing having you here. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm children's author Diane Floyd Bain, and I am co-host for several of the USA Global TV and radio shows. I joined because of the purpose of the USA Global TV and radio. They provide content for the viewers and listeners, an opportunity for people around the world to have their own show or even be a guest on an existing show. We truly believe in helping others get their positive message out to the world. We also have the opportunity for the listeners. You can watch on several platforms, and on YouTube, you can ask questions and even give a comment. We absolutely love it. I love being part of the USA Global TV and radio because I love positive messages. And who doesn't? And we need more of that in the world. We are a family, and we hope you will join us and become part of the family too.
USA Global TV and Radio, in partnership with Dr. Jacqueline LLC, present Amazon #1 best-selling author, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is a certified life, career, and executive coach who teaches people how to listen at an elevated level through her courses and her books. Dr. Kerbeck teaches her clients how to open their hearts and express themselves through their creative genius. In her children's book series, The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the listening mentor, Dr. Kerbeck teaches children and their families how to listen at an elevated level. Dr. Kerbeck has worked with clients across the world to guide them in how to express themselves and communicate at a highly effective level. Join our team of elevated listeners so you can listen without judgment, without providing a solution, without interruption, and without stealing the stage. To order your books today, go to drjacqueline.com or Amazon.
Hello everyone, I'm Simon MacDonald. I live in the West Highlands of Scotland, a very beautiful part of the world. Seems a long way from the USA Global TV station. But remember, USA Global TV is worldwide. It's a fantastic platform. And every Wednesday, I come along here as part of the show of the United Kingdom, News and Culture. And it's just like a family reunion each time. It's one of these amazing stations that has such a beautiful, friendly, and intelligent atmosphere as well. And we reach out to an audience in the most unimaginable places. And I came here, I don't know, must be over a year ago now. I was introduced by Dr. Philip Chan, and I met Ian Plum-Turner and Helena Chard, who are co-presenters on the show. And then Diane Floyd-Bem came along as well. And I mean, the five of us, Dr. Jacqueline, of course, who is our host and our mentor, has just made this show work so well. Tremendous people, lovely time we have, and we impart a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. Nothing's rehearsed. It's all done off the cuff, and it all just gels. And we get great feedback from people coming back and saying how they're enjoying the show. It's lovely to hear. And it's lovely to get that interaction from outside as well. And we're all listeners, and some of us are elevated listeners as well. So we enjoy every second of it, and we hope you do too.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Unstoppable Podcast. No matter where you are right now or what circumstances you face, lasting success is within your reach. Starring Ralph Graves Jr., author of the book Unstoppable. Ralph is a pastor, transformational speaker, and consultant. Follow Ralph on social media at Ralph Graves Jr. Unstoppable Podcast Wednesdays on USA Global TV and Radio. You are unstoppable.